And that's why if you ever see any gosh darn Skaven in your well anything, that's how you get rid of them.
I can barely hear Bion. Is he in the other room?
His volume is.
Can you hear me
all the
better
way up.
now? Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little bit better, yeah. I was about to say, did Zelvix put on a muting spell or something? Can you do that kind of thing?
Bion climbs to the top of the little signal tower we have on the Winnie. Can you hear me now? And it just turns into a fucking Verizon commercial.
What do you want?
Anyway, Casey, do you remember? Do you remember
My
what you were
equivalent to
doing
that
last
is
night?
still a.
No one before
Oh, right. You had gotten two parts backwards.
As quickly as I had.
Mm.
Except Mandalore himself, of course. In those days, we were sweeping across the outer rim.
But outside of me screwing up the part, do you remember what you were doing last part?
In real combat with unknown worlds.
We had gone through. We had gone through and talked to and started our Jedi trials, and then we did the thing that after we finished our Jedi trials, just a family matter that was basically the Hetfields and the Coys.
Oh yeah, the Romeo and Juliet thing.
I remember sitting there in my armor, linked directly with the
And yes, we will be sitting through the Ghost War stories.
I remember the Romeo and Juliet thing. And I think the biggest reason I remember that is because I screwed up. I screwed up the part last time.
Well, you done it now, Glitchy.
And I'll probably do it again.
Yes, which is why I gotta bonk you with something later.
I mean, we're talking about the same person who, for some reason, when editing his own playthrough of Ratchet and Clank last year, completely skipped over an entire planet.
Yeah, which is why I'm gonna bonk you again.
Plunge through the atmosphere, dodging and weaving. The outside of my armor
Be
glowing
better,
like
Glitchy.
the sun with the heat of re-entry. And with barely 30 meters to spare,
you don't be better. I'll start editing videos, and do you know what I'm gonna do?
Generators that were in my path. The explosion from
I'm gonna
or at the very least, I will actually give you the credit on this glitch. The entire part between the start of my trials and the Romeo and Juliet thing, that entire bit was corrupted.
Yeah, like at least in my defense there, the parts just in general were kind of corrupted. So I'm wondering if when editing I just got confused and wasn't paying attention to the names of each part or something. I don't know what I'm still upset because it wasn't until Rumpy brought it up during the playthrough. But I'm still upset about
since we're talking to her. This girl had actually fallen to the dark side, and our task was to either slay her and prove that we do not fear the dark side and we are willing to destroy it, or redeem her. And the council's just like, yes, this is proving something.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had a pretty bad history with the dark side.
I can only hope that
she's also a cat.
I will succeed.
Save her.
Damn it, Rumpy.
Oh, kitty. Kitty.
I'm half cat, and you've never acted that way towards me.
Fine, you want me to scratch you under your chin? Is that it, you big baby?
No.
Okay. Then I will fetch a spray bottle.
How dare
But first place for heaven?
Fine, you have a spray bottle.
I have water spells. But the first place we're heading is Yavin 4. This is because in an update for it that wasn't on the original on the original release, meaning if you got an early version, Xbox version like I did, you did not see this. We are heading here to get the armor that I will be using for the entire game.
Well, the entire rest of the game.
Yeah, until like the very, very end in the very last area.
Yep.
Because that has the ropes that Revan canonically makes use of. As depicted in the mobile game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
I'm sorry, I'm still chuckling. One of the last parts, just Revan standing there contemplating what kind of Jedi he wants to be.
Speaking of last parts, you forgot to upload that picture of me.
What picture are you?
You know the one. My newscast.
Oh, right.
Yeah, you
Kinda,
forgot, didn't you?
A lot of times
I totally forgot.
A lot of times, I might have forgotten. I actually don't remember. But no, a lot of times, I'll be like, yeah, I'll put this in the part, and then when I go to edit the part, I'm like, I don't want to do much work. I'm just gonna get the end, get the start, get the end, cut unnecessary fluff, put it up on the channel. I mean, for instance, the reason
By the way, remember when we thought this guy got bombed into oblivion?
No.
That was a couple of recordings ago, but I've been watching them as you upload, so...
Gotta be perfectly honest. A lot of these parts... A lot of the parts of this playthrough have gone in one ear and out the other for me. So, I barely remember anything that happens. We're gonna finish recording tonight, and I'm gonna be like, what did we record?
I have no idea. I'm losing the plot.
But while we're here, Yavin 4 is the final resting place of two Sith Lords, Naga Sadow and Exar Kun.
Yeah, Frankie and Merlin Houdini. I couldn't think of a good punny name.
Hey, he owes me money.
Funny enough, the Rebel base in Episode 4, there are evil ghosts in the basement.
Wait, I was actually gonna ask why Yavin 4 sounds familiar, and it's like, wait, that's why. I don't like dealing with... I don't really like dealing with Ghost.
You afraid of ghosts?
Bustin' makes me feel good.
It's not afraid of Ghosts, more just they annoy me.
You're spiritist.
I mean, I have a ghost off killing 40,000 demons for me.
I meet ghosts here and there.
Look, last time I had to deal with Ghost was a Luigi's Mansion situation, and it was not a fun night.
But were those ghosts or paintings?
They're Ghost. So it is funny to me that the one time I've played through the original Luigi's Mansion, like start to finish, I played it all in one sitting. That was fun.
For those of you who know what the hell a lightsaber combat form is, Exar Kun was one of only two people to be a combat specialist in Form 6. The fucker never lost a lightsaber duel.
Oh, that's bullshit. I mean, it's impressive, but it's also bullshit.
The only reason he actually died is because he performed a ritual to bind his spirit to the temple. And then the Jedi basically just used another power to force him to stay in the temple.
That's actually kind of funny.
So, quite literally, right now, he is seething and molding on a temple down on that planet. that eventually the rebels will move into much later.
He sucks.
I just renovated the place, and now I got a bunch of rebels moving in.
Yeah, suck it. Now bring me some chips.
Though to be fair, the ancient Sith, and most likely Exar Kun by extension, did not approve of Palpatine being.
But
I am in full
a
confidence.
lot of people didn't approve of Palpatine.
But the ancient Sith didn't, which is a plot point in a good number of places.
How old is
that
Palpatine?
He doesn't get the senior discount. He gets the senior grande discount.
Palpatine is about in his 80s by the time of Episode 6. It's just the spirits of the ancient Sith just don't like him because they don't like Bane and they don't like the rule of 2.
Sorry,
What?
I'm laughing at Rumpy's joke. Oh, so he's old. Yeah.
He's so old, Jesus would say, "Good God, die already."
No, they'd be Master Ubanar, who
Yeah, what do you want? You want
is
a war story, huh? You want to hear about
on the planet of Ostis and is still alive by the time of the Dark Empire in 14 BBY, ABY.
Can you translate that into English?
We were going through the
Tree Man is over 5,000 years. Local Tree Man is over 5,000 years old. Can still and is the oldest living thing in the galaxy.
Mainly small rocks covered in frozen methane gas shells.
So,
Oh, this story. Shut
I
up.
remember using a thermal generator.
At the time of KOTOR being written, the new Jedi Order books are coming out, and the main villain in Star Wars at this time was the Yuuzhan Vong.
But that was a mistake.
So they tied it in by having the Yuuzhan Vong show up in this story.
The asteroid I had targeted was smaller than most, maybe a dozen meters on the side. On the outside, it looked
Try an entire extragalactic species of technophobes that worship pain, and were so reviled by the Living Force that the Living Force just straight up said, "Nope, I don't want anything to do with you." Meaning they were not only completely incapable of using the Force, they were immune to its use. You can't mind trick them. You can't tell like if they throw them. Force lightning does nothing.
I think something even older.
That does sound like, holy shit, that would make for a pretty badass and terrifying enemy. Considering none of your main force attacks would be able to do anything against them.
Before we could counterattack, it fled at an incredible.
Unless you're like anomalously powerful, like Luke could do it, but that's also Luke motherfucking Skywalker in Legends.
Heading away from the galactic core.
Legends canon Luke. The better Luke.
Mr. Overrated.
Anything that wants to commit suicide in that great.
I'm sorry, Rumpy.
Look, even for someone like me who actually liked Luke's portrayal in Last Jedi, even I have to agree with Bion. No, Legends canon Luke is better.
Well, joke's on you. I don't even know what Legends is. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, for the record, I'm a normie when it comes to Star Wars. I just stick with the 9 movies.
Legends canon is the extended universe stuff before Disney took over.
So, nerd crap.
Genuinely though, there's a lot of stuff from Legends that I'm actually upset was deemed non-canon when Disney took over.
Okay.
The
Let
game.
me weigh in real quick. I still think that was a stupid choice. There's so much they could have taken from that, and they decided, nope, bye. You don't exist. You don't exist in my world. La 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 la. I can't
Well,
see you or hear you.
No.
La 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 la.
And you said your knowledge extends to the nine base films. That's most of my knowledge too.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, getting rid of the extended stuff was a stupid idea. There's so much you could have taken from it. I may not be aware of it, but I'm aware of potential.
Not just not taking anything from it, straight up denying its existence, saying, "Oh, we don't have all these years of comic books, all these years of video games and the like to draw from."
For me, what makes it worse is there are pieces of Legends canon that honestly make a lot more sense than what Disney has been doing. And there, like, just in general, there's a lot of stories from Legends that I wish were still considered canon. Like, I love the idea, like the story of the original Rogue Squadron is just after the events of Episode 4, Luke builds a squadron and just has them take down the remaining members of the Empire after they destroy the Death Star.
I find it surprising that there would be a star map somewhere in its desolate wastes.
Then there's Lethal Alliance, which is basically another chapter of Rogue One before Rogue One was a thing.
Now there's nothing but the howling.
Oh, and then there's Kyle motherfucking Katarn.
Look, the only reason I think Disney wiped Kyle Katarn from canon is because he is too badass to be a canon character to Disney.
No doubt things will become more clear once
Yeah.
Like, I'm upset he's no longer canon, but at the same time, it's like, the things that he is capable of, I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's like, man, Dark Forces is a good game. Like,
I mean, why don't you get rid of Star Wars Chuck Norris?
Someone else's.
What did you say, Rumpy?
Oh, I had a joke and I don't know. I didn't know it. I messed up on a joke. I'm sorry. Something about IP possession. It's my thing to do whatever with.
My IP is sit on do. Well, and the thing is, at least I will at least give Disney some credit. Like, they're not just sitting on Star Wars. Even though they've done a lot of things to piss off hardcore fans, at least they're doing something with the IP. Talk to a fan of fucking Tron and ask them how they've been since Disney has gotten Star Wars.
Tron fans, the most oppressed fandom ever.
Yep. It really saddens me because Tron is a franchise that I'm convinced Disney has never known what to do with.
You see, Zerka Corporation staked their claim to this planet based on some
I mean, your franchise is probably doomed when you include Jared Leto.
Unfortunately, that information was incorrect, and possibly even an attempted sabotage.
I do want to know, because the third Tron film that we're supposed to be getting, also, yes, we have the same problem as last part where the border just disappears. That should be fixed next part, hopefully. Anyway, but like right after Tron Legacy came out, they planned on doing a third film, and I wanted that original would have been. Because very clearly isn't what they yeah. But the
I'm gonna say a lot of neon and a lot of techno.
Yeah. Although speaking of Tron, we are supposed to be getting a new Tron game this year from Digital. I think
believe it when I say it.
I think I'll send you the trailer. I'll send you a trailer in a minute, but I think it's being done by. Shit, I can't remember all of a sudden. Hang on.
Native sentient species have no records going back that far.
Sorry, I'm not paying
well,
attention.
written records. We'll get into this later at the expense of one.
It looks beautiful.
Anything. Barely more than animals.
But I won't spoil it. But let's just say the Kotor are assholes, and this planet really did used to be lush. In fact, the trees that are on Kashyyyk are originally native to Tatooine. At the very least, that's a theory that's going around. So imagine a tree the size of the Empire State Building on Tatooine.
The Jawas are scavengers and a bit.
Hey, hang on. I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you were saying about the tree thing?
But how they got here, they may not.
Imagine a tree the size of the Empire State Building on Tatooine.
Nice.
Good traders, though. No, the Jawa will take your the Jawa. If you leave your ship around them for long enough, they will have it up on blocks.
This thing didn't have wheels, and yet they somehow are fucking tires.
Damn.
I guess you could ask around.
Can't have shit in Detroit.
Nope.
You would always ask a Jawa. It's
Damn
hard to
Detroit.
tell what they know.
Can't
Detroitness.
can't have tree in Tatooine.
What is it? Shit everywhere. That's how I got kicked out of 8 different places.
You got kicked out of 8 different places for being a war criminal.
That wasn't the reason. They didn't know.
I'm actually with the squirrel on this one. It's never a war crime the first time.
I really don't want to agree with you guys on that. For the game, the Tron game I was talking about is Tron Catalyst. And it's being worked on by people who did Thomas Was Alone and Subcircular. Thomas Was Alone. It looks good. Like in general, good. It's like a.
Yo, the only one of that species in the entire KOTOR series.
Don't you mean Star Wars in general?
Oh, at least that we know of. But Usanus is much more important to KOTOR 2. As if you play the male version, you straight up fuck his daughter. I mean, granted, you're playing the guy who killed him, but hey.
It's none of my business.
In KOTOR 1, you're playing as Revan. Revan kills Usanus. And then in the sequel, if you're playing male, which isn't canon, you fuck the guy's daughter. While being trained by his wife. Kizka!
What were you saying?
Basically, the guy gave us pets.
Oh, cool.
Woo! We'll see them.
Hang on.
We'll see them next time.
Well, hang on. There's one more thing I got to do before we go. That's for your shoddiness, Glitchy.
Grumpy, stop hitting me.
No.